Princess Skywalker. We are on episode 8, and tonight is our all in review. Um, as you know, you can find me on Twitter at just Skywalker 10. I've got two guest hosts with me tonight. I've got Michael with Kicking Out at 2 podcast, and I have John from Chairshot Sports. And I am so excited to have both of you guys here with me tonight. Um, Michael, you and I were introduced from a fellow Heels member, which is freaking awesome. Shout out to Tori for helping out and getting me this co-host tonight. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, let you know about your your podcast, not little podcast,
Hey,
but
you
your
can say little, it's
podcast,
fine.
all that fun stuff.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. I feel a little naked here because normally the opening is you're watching Kicking Out too, and with me as always is my partner Tori, and he's not here with me. Basically, we've been a podcast that was come out of necessity. We've been friends for over 18 years, and we have always said we wanted to start one. And just one day, we realized we hadn't talked in about 6 months, and was all right. Let's go ahead and start a podcast, and it gives us a reason to talk to each other 2 or 3 times a week, even if it's just about stupid things like wrestling. But
Hell
um,
yeah.
definitely a great friendship out of it. We always say that we're a safe space here, um, much like the heels relationship that you talked about there. So that's the big thing is we want a good wrestling community, and I do appreciate this opportunity to spend some time with more people in that community. It's really awesome, and hopefully my little bit of following comes to you guys, and maybe we get some out of it too.
Push the good vibes your way.
That's right.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that info. And where can everybody find you, Michael?
So we are at Kicking Out at 2, the number 2, like you see on the screen there, on everything except for on YouTube. It has PC at the end of it because someone had already taken out Kicking Out at 2. I don't know who would have done that.
All right. Thank you very much. And we also have John from Chairshot Sports, which is super exciting to have you on here. You've got a huge following. People love you. They watch you all the time. So it's freaking awesome to have you on the show. Go ahead and kind of give my viewers a little bit about yourself and plug yourself too.
No, yeah, no. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it. This is fun. Just like Michael said, I love coming on to different shows, different podcasts, talking to different people in a safe space where we can all just talk and have great ideas and great thoughts on wrestling. It's always good to have good banter, wherever it was good or bad. But yeah, no. Like I said, great to be here. Yeah, we do. I'm doing. Got a decent following. We've been doing this a couple of years now. We started on Spotify, started on YouTube this past year, so that's growing really well. And yeah, we cover. Thank you. I try to be pretty unbiased. I call it down the middle for AEW, WWE. No tribalism in this house. Also for TNA and New Japan, we cover all of it, good or bad, and the ugly. So, but yeah, that's a little bit, yeah, pretty much about me.
Fantastic. And where can everybody find you?
At Chairshot Sports across
What's
all social media, YouTube, X, all that stuff. Yep, at Chairshot Sports. Yep.
Perfect. I've got that across the bottom, guys. So make sure you go give these guys a follow. Follow their personal accounts, their YouTube accounts, get all that taken care of. So we are doing the all in review tonight. So tonight is going to be all AEW. It's going to be all about All In. I don't know about you guys, but I thought All In was fantastic. Um, it was 100% worth the money. I ended up watching it again last night because I had to watch the last 4 matches on my phone because me and my husband went to the Bronco game on Saturday or on Sunday. But I was still watching it in the car. I was walking through the stadium with my phone, being one of those assholes watching their phone instead of paying attention to where the hell they're going so that I could make sure and watch everything. So I rewatched it last night so that I could actually watch those last 4 matches, and but I fell asleep during one of them. um but we'll get to that later. um
There's always one.
there's always one that makes me fall asleep, and this time it wasn't fucking Phil, so fucking Phil will be next week. I always have to get that fucking Phil in there on all my shows because I fucking hate that guy. I don't even know why. I just don't fucking like him. It has nothing to do with the AEW stuff, or I just don't like the guy.
He has that face. It's a
So
punchable face.
it's a
It's a face. It's the
punchable
face.
fucking face.
He does really. He really does, though. That's not even. That's a statement. That is so true, though. No more than anything else with him. That face just want to take one on him.
Oh, I just don't like you. What is AJC in you? Okay, I digress because I have ADHD and I do that. You get me started on fucking Phil, and it's just all over
Oh.
from there. So, all right, 0 hour. I was asleep during most of it because I went out the night before, stayed out way too late, and my alarm didn't go off. So I only caught 3 of the matches. As we were talking about a little bit before this, I missed the 10-man tag team match between a bunch of people. I don't even really know who was all in it. There was just a shitload of people in there. Um, like we're saying, throwing everybody in front of them, trying to get everybody's money worth. Um, I believe the top flight team won.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So the top flight team won on that one. So I can't say whether it was a good or bad match because I didn't watch it. So Willow Nightingale and Ishii versus defeated Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. I honestly think this match should have just been Willow and Chris Statlander. Um, I don't think there was any need to throw Ishii and Stokely into the mix. Most of the match was Willow and Chris Statlander, but it should have just been the two of them. You know, let's get this feud over with. Let's just get it done. Let's have them move on to new things because it's getting old. Um, they haven't really done much with it, so it's like enough already. They should
Uh,
have just let them have their final match and go.
I feel like putting Stokely in it is kind of them trying to up the product a little bit. You hear a lot of fans talk about how they don't have the stories, they don't have the fun haha matches like WWE does. This
Mhm.
gave us some of those moments. There was a moment when Stokely, trying to remember, I think it was a body slam on Ishii, and Ishii no sold it, stood up behind him, and like you have that
Mhm.
moment of like, oh shit. So I think that's what they're going for is they're trying to make it more well rounded. Wrestling's for everybody, which the
Mhm.
top to bottom, and we'll talk about the rest of the show, obviously, but top to bottom, I think that's kind of what this show showed is that they're trying to grow outside of just that we're a wrestling company that wrestles and we're in entertainment. And sometimes we're going to get those moments where we go, probably wasn't the best idea, but someone liked it.
There's one of them on this card. We'll get to that later. Um, what about you, John?
No, I feel the same way. I was talking about that when I did my prediction show a little before. It's one of those feel good matches, get the crowd going, get everyone hyped up. Obviously, a couple laughs going back and forth. The same reason you said, the funny mixed tag matches when there's a manager as a tag team has no business being in the ring, and then the things like
Mhm.
the no sale, and obviously um, Nightingale's trying to get her hands on Stokely, things like that, chasing him around, stuff like that. So again, it's kind of streamlining a little bit more to the entertainment side of the wrestling, and you got to appreciate that. You're going to have more of those, I'm sure, down the road with them.
The fun side, yeah. Because Stokely Hathaway is hilarious.
Mhm.
I mean,
Agreed.
Stokely Hathaway, he's a damn treasure.
I, I was I was
He's
I was pissed when
hilarious.
WWE let him go, man. I was pissed when he got let go from WWE.
He's like the truth of AEW. It's like you've got to protect him at all costs.
Absolutely.
National treasure. National treasure.
He's just fantastic. Um, I love Willow. I absolutely love her bubbly personality. I love everything about her. She's just fantastic. Chris Statlander has always been just phenomenal in the ring. She's a powerhouse. I mean, those two girls, what this feud has done is it's given them a platform on the shows and made sure that they've been a part of the shows rather than just somewhere in the background. So that's one thing that I did like about their feud is it's constantly giving them um, TV time,
Yes.
giving them the ability to be on TV and showcase who they are. And I love that because they're great and they don't need to be people that are just in the background. So I did love that about it. Um, the next thing that happened, I believe, was Soraya. Soraya's music hits, or did I miss something in
We had
between that?
the Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara. That
Oh,
match, I
was
believe, was
that
before
before
that.
that?
Yeah, I believe
Oh,
that was
that's
before.
right. Duh, I literally have that
Yeah,
written
that was the
down right here.
10-man match. Yeah.
Okay. So we had Dustin Rhodes, who, like I was telling these two, followed me on Twitter the other day. Fucking awesome because he's a goddamn legend. And then the reason I started watching AEW in the first place, Sammy Guevara, the Von Erichs, and Shibata against the Cage of Agony and the Undisputed Kingdom. That's their name, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Um, and we saw Team Guevara and Rhodes defeat the Cage of Agony and the Undisputed Kingdom. It's great seeing Dustin thriving right now. He is putting on some of the best work he's ever done. He's just doing absolutely phenomenal. I don't care what people say. The fact that he's got two belts on him is fantastic to me right
Yep.
now. He's a leader. He's somebody that can be there for those younger guys, and he is. And that's what he does. I love that when they brought back Sammy Guevara, they paired him with Dustin and gave him the ROH tag team titles. Um, it still shows that I was sad at first because Sammy was gonna be on ROH and not so much on AEW, but what they've done with it is fantastic. So I'm really happy with the way that that turned out. Um, what about you guys?
I
No,
couldn't agree
I
more.
agree.
Oh, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I've been watching Dustin since the beginning. Like, I was watching when he showed
Goldust.
up with his dad in WWE, that first run. He's been around forever, and yeah, a lot of people they talk bad about him, about Christian, because they're like, these guys are up in age and they getting these titles and these opportunities. There's a reason for that though, and that's because they're talented. Like, and not to say that the younger
Mhm.
guys aren't, but a lot of those younger guys haven't found it yet. And so, like, sticking Sammy with Dustin, like, that's great opportunity for him because Dustin can help him mold into something bigger than what he is now. Um,
Mhm.
but putting the belt on him is great. This match is great. The only thing I didn't like about the match is getting a little tired of seeing Kevin come out there and do the claw. I mean, do we have to do it
Yeah.
every time the Von Erichs are in a match?
It's a staple, man. It's a staple.
Yeah,
You got to see the claw.
but a good match, and yeah, Dustin having the belts, I couldn't agree more. He deserves it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just like Michael, man, I've been watching Dusty since almost day one, man. He's an amazing talent. He's a legend. There's the go. There's plenty of adjectives for the man. I got the pleasure of
Mhm.
meeting him about a year ago, and he's an awesome dude, down to earth, great to talk to. Talk to everybody. Talked to me for about 10 minutes. So, but it was great. Yeah, again, he's a leader. Great to have the belt on him, and I think it's good for Guevara. I think Sammy got thrown in at a time and just catapulted right to the top with the whole Jericho shtick, all that stuff. And not to say he was learning under the wrong guys, because Jericho knows a lot of stuff too, but I think didn't have he just had a free reign, no leash on him, kind of do this, but do it like this, and this is why. And that's something that Dusty can show him and teach him. I mean, and obviously
Mhm.
Sammy right now is kind of a new guy anyway. He's a dad now. He has, I think you're going to see a maturation of him going to really a great talent, putting it all together and learning that from Dustin, how to put it all together, when to use certain things and do certain stuff. And I think you're going to see him be a
Mhm.
major player down the road.
Absolutely. And honestly, Sammy Guevara is the reason I started watching AEW in the first place. I was a hater. I was a tribalist. I was all about WWE for a very long time. And then I started watching the vlog. And when I started watching the vlog, I was like, you know what? I was like, this guy's pretty cool and this is hilarious, you know? And then he started showcasing some of his matches on the vlog. And I was like, okay. So then I started watching it and I was like, you know what? This shit is fucking awesome. Because I wasn't watching wrestling at the time. I had tuned it out. I was like, I'm done. You know, this is obnoxious. Like WWE is doing shitty. It was during COVID, I think. It was like right when everything started coming back from COVID, I believe is when
Mhm.
I started kind of watching and everything, the end of 2020.
The dark days.
And Sammy Guevara, but he's the reason I started watching AEW in the first place. So it's nice to see them put a belt on him. Um, like I said, I was worried about him being in Ring of Honor instead of on Dynamite, but this is going to be good for him because he's got Dustin to show him the way.
Agreed.
So the next match, or the next not match, was Soraya. She comes out, her music hits, boos in her hometown. I mean, just booing the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Her
Boo
whole
killer.
family comes out just getting booed to death. I mean, that was not the same reaction that they got a year ago in England. Absolutely
Nope.
not. They were booed from the time they showed their faces all the way to the ring through her entire breakdown. And that surprised me, being in her hometown. Now, Jamie Hayter returning, fucking awesome. I was so happy to see her. I was so happy to see Jamie Hayter. However, I would have liked to have seen her make her return on the main card. That's where I would have liked to have seen her make her
I
return.
agree.
It
Yeah.
didn't have to be involved with the Britt Baker match. It could have happened the exact way that it happened, but I would have preferred to see her on the main card. But seeing her back is absolutely fantastic because she is such a talent, and it's going to be great to watch her. And if they keep her separated from Britt and kind of let them do their own thing now, I think she's going to soar. She's going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that to me is the key, is keeping her away from Britt for now, because
Mhm.
we don't want her to just fall back into that role. And I certainly agree with you. Just a little bit of a programming difference of have that open the show, have that
Right.
like Soraya coming out. It's a good callback to last year. It's a good callback to Soraya being out there. It's a nice change. It'd be a good way to warm up the crowd for the actual show. If that happens, she comes out, she runs
Mhm.
Ruckshaw over her, over Soraya and her family. Good way to bump it up and start the show.
Yep.
No, I agree. I was very surprised at the ovation that that she received in the opposite way of not cheering. I was like, wow, this crowd's hot, man. This is nuts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I definitely agree. You almost want to don't want to compare the two because it's a whole different level, a whole different situation. But it's almost like keeping Roman away from Cody right now with his return and putting him into that storyline where you got to keep these two away from each other for a little bit. Let her get her feet under her, rise, like you just said. She's gonna soar. She has the talent. She's great in the ring. Let her get up to where she needs to be, and then at some point have parallel lines and have them cross at some point when it makes sense. Probably
Absolutely.
someone to do, whether it be for the TBS or for the women's title as well. So
Yeah, and it's also, she didn't lose the title. So
Yep.
is she going to start going after Mariah May, or are they going to have her go after the TBS title? So it'll be interesting to see where she goes because technically she never lost. Or
Yeah.
did she lose? I thought she got hurt and had to
She had to
relinquish.
relinquish it.
Okay, that's what I thought, is she had
I
to relinquish it.
I
So,
hope I hope they have her do a couple matches before jumping her right into that. If that's the
mhm.
angle they go, whatever, however they're going to do it, I'm sure it's going to be good with her in the program. But I
Well,
hope they have her
y-
not really earn her spot, but kind of do a couple things and then be like, hey, listen, I never lost that. Like I'm not going through no contender gauntlet. I'm getting a shot. You know what I mean? So this should be really good.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So they've got her going up against Harley Cameron on AEW this week.
Hmm.
So I saw that. That's who they've got Jamie Hayter going up against. And you know what? Harley Cameron is shockingly good, and she's getting better every time she wrestles. So that's going to be a really good match. It's going to be more of a squash match, I think, and Jamie's going to more have the control in the match because that's the way it's going to be designed, of course, with her being her first match back. But Harley Cameron's a good opponent for her, I think.
Agreed.
All right. Then they started the main card with the trios title championship match. We've got the patriarchy, we've got the Bang Bang Gang, we've got House of Black, and then we've got the interesting team of Yuta, Claudio, and Peck. So I missed what kind of put that team together. I mean, it was a great team. Um, oh, shut up.
But
Sorry,
from
TJ's
what I
in the
know,
chat telling
uh,
him to shut up.
from what I understand, it it kind of revolved around the fact that we don't have the Lucha Brothers now because it was supposed to be
Yeah,
apparently supposed to be the
it
Lucha
was supposed
Brothers,
to be them.
and
Hmm.
with that whole thing in question right now, what's happening with them, they just kind of will just stick them in PVC.
But it worked,
Yeah,
and
it
it worked
absolutely
well.
works. Yeah,
They were a good team. Like they
It definitely flowed. Yeah.
meshed together really well. So it was a good choice putting them together. Um the showcasing of the House of Black has been interesting. Um just they're in a lot of matches, but they don't win a lot of matches. And that's interesting to me because they're all very talented. Every single one of them is very talented. So why are they in the position that they're in? Why aren't they getting, you know, better opportunities, I guess? They're getting the opportunities, but it's always at someone else's push.
That was exactly what I talked about when I had the prediction show. They were my pick to win. I really thought it was their time. Patriarchy, they've had it for a bit. They don't need it. They're Christian's going to get over regardless. Bang Bang Gang, they held it for a minute. So I mean, they don't really need to have it back again. They can do their own
Mhm.
thing. And I really thought this was the time. Buddy just resigned. I mean, Alice was there for a while. Brody's in. It was just really. I thought this was going to be the time they get this and maybe hold them until Revolution. Have a really lengthy run of doing because the trios aren't showcased every week. Some
No.
they put on Ring of Honor, some they put on Collision. But I just thought this was really their time, and I was very shocked. And I had said it, I didn't know who the mystery team was yet when I did the podcast. So when I saw it was like the quasi BCC, I was like, okay, it makes sense. They're a decent team, decent guys, but I still thought they were the ones to walk away. So when Pac reached up and grabbed it, I was a little shocked. I really thought this was going to be House of Black's time because I agree. They're great. They go over well. They have good spots and they're featured well. But storyline wise, they're always
Yeah.
taking L's. Just taking L's.
Always.
It doesn't make any sense to me when you have a caliber of those three guys who are awesome in the ring, and we're just not giving them any wins. It's just wild to me. But I agree. I
Yep.
agree.
yeah.
I thought that was their time to shine.
We talk about specifically Malachi just because Malachi seems to be the only always the one that's kind of put on the back burner for some reason. But we talk about
Mhm.
it, and when we talk about it on our podcast, it leads more to what we see as just bloat. There are so many great teams and so many great competitors that are on that roster that sometimes
Mhm.
they just end up getting it wrong, in my opinion, of who should win this. Because, like you said, I think it was perfect timing to
For
have
House of
them win
Black.
that because you have
Yep.
him just signed
Mhm.
back, so you have him there. You know you're gonna have him for a while. Give them the belt for a while,
Exactly.
so that way they can carry it, and then give it to somebody else if you want that. But it would have been perfect for that. And
Mhm.
that crowd was so hot for them when Brody's out there
So hot.
barking and everybody out there is just hooting with him.
Mhm.
Like it,
Mhm.
they were so behind them. Um, so it was a weird
And
decision. I agree.
if the Lucha Brothers thing wasn't going to work out, why stick it on a makeshift tag team rather than give it switch gears and give it to the House of Black, who is an established trios team and
Mhm.
could have had a decent run with it.
Yeah,
So that was why I was a little bit confused of it. They put it on the makeshift team rather than giving it to the House of Black and just kind of shafting House of Black again. And I mean, I guess I don't really saying shafting, but
Uh,
shafting.
Not wrong. You're not
yeah,
wrong in saying you're getting shafted, man. It's just
I
yeah.
every time
mean,
they're
Well,
winning okay matches on TV, but then when it comes up when the lights are on bright, and it's time for some titles, time for some gold opportunities. L L
they
yeah.
fell
L. Like
short.
it's just like,
And
dude, they get
a little bit of armchair booking, but I look at a situation with that makeshift team, and if you're going to have him be part of the BCC going forward, them losing to me opens up a story for them because now they have to find a way to make him fit because he's always been the
Yeah.
bastard Pac. He's always been kind of the loner. How is he going to now fit in this group of badasses? Like them losing wouldn't have lost anything. They were a new team
Yeah.
together, and it gives them a
Yeah.
Mhm.
story to how is he going to start meshing with the team.
It wasn't going to hurt them any.
No.
So it was an interesting choice. But it's not a bad choice because they did mesh well together. They did do a good job. Um, did they need it? No. House of Black definitely needed it more. Um, but we'll see what happens with it. I mean, maybe they'll feud with House of Black. Maybe, you know, Maybe something will come out of it because House of Black did shake their hands after the match.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
maybe that will produce something and we'll get the House of Black showcased more. And this was maybe something to showcase the House of Black
stepping stone,
more.
get them there. Yeah.
Stepping stone to get them up to Revolution, and then they'll go against them for the trios titles.
The ending of this match had me really hoping for something that we're going to talk about later that crushed my hope because I thought we were finally getting the turnip kill switch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was there. I'm right there with you, man.
He
I'm
was like,
right there
"I'm
with
We'll
done," and he
get to
walked out,
that.
and I'm
you.
like, "Yes,
Don't even. Oh
finally
man.
through with this."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've
I'm right
got it
there,
in the
man.
cards. Okay, we'll get to that.
Oh,
Um, sorry, I'm tweeting out some more shit. Come on, y'all. All right, next match was the women's championship match: Mariah May versus Timeless Tony Storm. I just have to say to start off, this match was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. These women killed it in this match. Absolutely killed it. But Tony Storm is just on another level. This character has been fucking fantastic, and she has done such a good job with just being so extreme and just so fucking out there and just making it absolutely perfect. And this match, exactly, Isaiah, it lived up to the hype. It lived up to what they wanted it to be. Um, Mariah slapping her mom was interesting.
Yeah.
Just
yes.
laying one out on her mom.
You're like, oh,
Like,
okay.
Hey, we
Let's see
want
what's
the
going
crowd to
on.
hate you.
like,
What are you gonna do?
damn.
Slap my mom? That's sure.
Right. I want the crowd to hate me even more. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna walk over there and slap my mama.
Turn on my
And
own.
that's in front of everybody. And that's exactly what she did. Tony was in control a majority of the beginning of that match. She was whooping ass left and right. She was making Mariah bleed. They had Mariah bloody and crying. You could audibly hear Mariah crying throughout the match, which was fantastic. That was, perfect cinema to add to this match, you know. And then Tony hesitated with the shoe. She just couldn't do it. She couldn't bring herself to Mariah's level and implement the shoe. And that's where she lost the match.
The we talked earlier about younger talent finding that thing. Tony found that thing. Like just the character itself is so over the top and it's so much fun to see her play in that
Hmm.
role. But then the heart moments that she has, the beginning of that match when they are eye to eye, and she looks like she is about to bawl because
Hmm.
her apprentice, her friend in this business has turned on her.
Hmm.
And how can you do
The
this?
emotion.
And just the build up of that to the pull apart brawl, like it was just perfect cinema. And that's I don't mean that ironically because it's her character, but like definitely perfect cinema for what this match needed to be.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was awesome. And the best thing about Tony is she never breaks that character. Like anytime on it's that in the it could be a scrum, it can be in interviews, whatever she's doing. She never breaks the character. She was so committed to this, and it showed through on the ring when she in her matches and her promos, everything. It
Hmm.
was literally just her. There's no character. That's her.
Yeah.
We picked
Yeah.
I picked Mariah May a long time ago to win the Heart tournament and to win and for this moment to go to All In to win this belt. She's been on the rise. I mean, they teased it for a long time. People were asking about Mariah, and Tony kind of cast it aside. She's not ready yet, but you knew this was eventually was going to come to a turning point. And once she was put into the tournament, I knew she was going to win this and go, and this is where we were going to go with it. But she's amazing. Mariah May, the sky's the limit for her. She's an awesome
Oh, she's
wrestler.
phenomenal.
Has the looks, great on the mic, great in the ring. Just really a 5-tool player, which you really want to have leading your women's division right now. And we have a lot of people not even on here right now. A lot of people are going to be coming back from injury that aren't even like ready to go yet. They're still rehabbing. So I mean,
Yeah.
she has a lot of people she hasn't gotten her hands on yet, and it's going to be really, really good. So it's strap in because it's going to be a fun ride to Revolution.
Absolutely. This women's division right now in AEW is on another level, and
Mhm.
it has nothing to do with Mercedes Monet. I mean, she's part of it. We'll get to that later, but
The
um
only thing I will say that I think is because of her per se, it's just
mhm.
from conversations that I've heard about Tony, is that he seems to be helping them get more on the card. Because before she jumped in, it was, you know, a 10-minute one woman match out of a 2 hour show. Now we're starting to get more matches out of it. I do think maybe she helped with that on the back end, but I agree with, like, I don't think her being there made it a better roster. The roster was already stacked. They just needed to be shown.
Yeah, they needed to be showcased.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, Mariah May winning was phenomenal. It was a great choice. I wanted Tony to win, but Mariah May is phenomenal. She's going to elevate the title. It'll be interesting to see who she feuds with first. Um, I can't predict that right now, because everything's been so focused on um, the feud between her and Tony Storm right now that it's hard to see where it's going to go. And I think we'll see that on Wednesday. Is we'll find out where this is going on Wednesday and who's going to be coming in and trying to take that title from Mariah. But I see Mariah holding it for a while.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, the next match. Don't really want to talk about it, but it's on the card, so we have to. All right, we've
Don't
got the
tell that to Tony.
FTW
It's a
championship
real
match.
championship.
It's not that. It's who's in the
Well, yeah,
match is
that's
why I don't want to talk about it because the goddamn booger is in the match and
And she's
I
not
haven't heard
talking
that
about
one
just
Hook.
yet.
call it
All right.
that's what my son used to call him a long time ago when my son was really little. He's almost 20 now, but my son used to call him the booger. And that's what he used to call Chris Jericho, so it just kind of stuck. So it's the FTW championship with Chris Jericho versus Hook. That performance was the worst fucking thing I have ever seen. Whoever was in charge of the fucking sound needs to be fired immediately because it sounded like asshole, unless that's just how Chris Jericho sounds at his concerts. Because that was awful. My ears were bleeding.
I don't know what what to say about this match. I mean, it even comes down to
Oh,
just,
we haven't even gotten to the match yet. I'm
yeah.
just talking about the damn intro
Oh, well,
performance.
yeah, that's valid. Having rock music and then him saying, "Hi guys," that I don't understand this character at all. I don't know what we're doing.
It's awful. It's so
Ye-
bad.
it's one of those things. I feel like, again, this is, I think this comes down to a TK thing. Like, hey, you want to have your band play? Like, yeah, well, let's have Fozzy play. That's cool, man. Let's do that. Yeah, we'll have Fozzy like sing you out. Meaning you're gonna sing yourself out. Wait, what? What are we doing here? Like, it's oh, dude, I can't, man.
It was a
I
It
weird
was
was
already
so
like,
choice.
bad.
if I'm a huge Hook guy, like I've been Taz since I got into wrestling. I love Taz, so obviously, like, I'm a big Hook guy. Obviously, got the belt
Yeah.
here. But no, it's just
Mhm.
but yeah, it's just I'm like, I'm only watching this because I want to see Hook win this back. Like, this year reason I'm watching this match. But yeah, it was
I was like,
weird.
this
Weird,
is
weird, weird opening.
terrible.
Sing yourself out to the ring, and whatever,
Right.
dude.
Plug yourself. Plug
uh,
yourself and plug your band.
yeah,
This, well, the whole match was a 3-on-1 match,
Mhm.
which we all knew it was going to be. Like, where the hell is Taz? Where was Shibata? Like, where were the people that have been helping Hook this whole time? Like, they could
Samoa
have.
Joe.
Y- That's what I meant, Samoa Joe. That's what
Well,
I meant.
Shibata
I don't
too.
know what I
Shibata had a
Yeah,
said.
thing with
give
him.
me Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I didn't say Samoa Joe in the very beginning. I can't remember what I said. ADHD moment in and out my head. But the whole match was 3-on-1. Yeah, sorry
Yep,
guys. I have ADHD. Sometimes I forget what I said 30 seconds ago. So,
it's all
um,
good.
then there was this I have this literally written down as Hook's Fern Gully moment because when he takes off the patch and he's like, I can see, all I could fucking think of was Fern Gully, the last rainforest. I can see. It's a
That's-
miracle.
Well
That's a
done.
hell of a callback. I'm gonna say that right now. That's awesome.
So this is what I was going
all
to
I
go
can
into when I
think
was
A
about.
talking
lot of
about the
people watching
match.
the stream right now going, Fern Gully? Like that's gonna
Fern
take a whole
Gully? What
Yeah.
the hell's Fern Gully?
It's a great movie that nobody ever talks about it.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Unless it's a TikTok dance to the Bat song.
Yeah,
In which case,
Yeah.
then it's
I
fine.
think they're
Use the
coming out with a
TikTok to bring
live
back the
action
oldies.
Fern Gully. I
Oh.
think they actually are coming out with a live action Fern Gully. I think it comes
Really?
out this year or next year, but I think they are coming out with it.
Okay.
But that's all I could think of when he ripped off that
Yeah.
patch and was going, I can see, is that fucking moment in Fern Gully. I can see. It's a
Yep.
miracle.
So
And I was fucking dying.
I don't know who the agent was for this match, and it could have been Jericho himself. I don't know.
One
But
of 27
Probably.
guys apparently.
why did we not have him rip it off right in front of Jericho and get a camera on that reaction? Because to me, that's what
Right.
should have happened. Is him take it off, I can see, and Jericho go,
Mhm.
oh shit. Like,
Oh wait, I'm not fighting a one-eyed guy.
yeah. But he just
Yeah,
kind of
have his
takes
Fern
it off,
Gully
looks at the
moment on
crowd.
camera.
But again,
I
no,
can
you're perfect.
see.
Like,
I can see.
no, absolutely rip it off. You see Jericho. Like it just the color drop from his face.
Yeah.
Like that would have been cinema. Would have been awesome. Just an
Exactly.
extra little touch. And again, those are things I think AEW need to work a little bit. Just getting those kind of moments. It's a little, but it goes a long way.
Yeah.
And like telling that story.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I think it was good.
I
man.
hope this.
Go ahead.
I hope this is the end.
Oh, it's got to be. Jericho's going to come out now as one of his other 16 characters, so he's going to reinvent himself.
Yeah.
Hi guys. That's going out the window.
Maybe the
now.
Painmaker again or
It has
something.
to.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez.
I'm
God
glad
bless
to
the
see
man.
Hook. Yeah, I guess.
No, I'm just saying. Listen, I feel you on the other stuff too. I'm just saying, in regards to being a performer, the fact that every time this ends, like you feel like Tony looks at me and goes, "What are you gonna do now?" And he's like, "I got an idea." At least trying something to reinvent himself. I give him credit for that. But
Yeah.
the road's coming to an end
It
soon.
doesn't
Man.
always work.
No. This has been this like okay, kind of cool. All right, then we got the bad apple. Okay, and then like I was like, are you annoying? Are you over? Are you we get you trying to be annoying, but like what are we doing with this? What is this character?
Yeah.
What is it? It's like a Seinfeld character. It's like nothing. The character is nothing. That's the character.
Hey,
Like,
I literally have Seinfeld in the background on my TV right now, muted. That's my fucking show,
There you
man.
go.
Same.
I love that show.
The
But yeah,
character
no,
about
but,
nothing.
Character about nothing.
But I get he'll come out. Maybe the faction will implode, and he'll be back to being Jericho, whatever 9.0, whatever else he's going to come out and do. So, but yeah, it's good for Hook, man. Hook needs to be showcased more. I love the FTW belt. I know people thought it was like some kind of Carney title coming in, bringing as like a joke. Wasn't recognized at first for other people saying that. I mean, obviously it has a lot of lineage, a lot of history to it with his dad from Taz. But yeah, I think you need to get him, start getting him into the mid card, get him on a TNT run into that picture. FTW belt, great starter. Give it to somebody else, maybe Daniel Garcia.
But
Maybe he goes after that.
Another level.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think we've seen enough. People are buying into the spotlight. They're buying into the hype. Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's really time.
With Jack Perry carrying that TNT title right now, a young guy, which we'll get back to, to that a little bit later, but a young guy going up against these young guys for the TNT championship, I think is a really good way to showcase some of these guys. And putting Hook in that element will be a really good way to push him into that.
Yeah,
with
the TNT title I've always thought should be, to compare it to the WWE, the IC belt. That should be the young and hungry guys going after that belt. Like there's no reason we should put any of the tenured people, the people up at that high echelon level, in those matches. This should be the young and upper-comer belt.
Absolutely.
At the end of this match, I am glad to see that we got Taz finally get his hands on somebody. It was a very sloppy Taz mission.
Yeah.
But it was still nice to see it happen.
That man is built like a house still. If it wasn't for that bad knee, man, he'd be wrestling. I'm telling you,
sure.
He is still jacked. Oh man. Good old days with Taz and ECW, man. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he is an ECW original.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of history with Taz. All right. Next match was the tag team championship match with FTR versus the Acclaimed versus the Young Bucks. Max's rap, all about penises and masturbation.
I'm sorry, man. The John Cena shtick died a long time ago, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Like,
It,
come on. Like, what is
it was definitely a
happening?
miss. Some of his raps
Yeah,
are good. Some of them do come out and it's well done. And then there's some like that was just pandering to the lowest common denominator.
and
You
on
got
this kind of
10-year-olds laughing at that in the crowd. Like
on this kind of
Yeah.
stage, I really thought you would have had some kind. I'm even okay with the WWE shots, man. Take a shot at Vince, take whoever you want, man. I don't care. That's cool stuff. People love that. They love the heat. But I'm listening to this and I'm like, bro, what are we doing? Like, you're at Wembley, you're at All In. This is like what you should be doing on Collision. Like, not
it's
not
not
on
Right.
the stage, bro.
it's not
But
like you
yeah,
didn't have material. Like you have FTR there, you had the CM Punk relationship with them. If you really wanted to throw out
Right.
something controversial, like you had stuff in front of you could have used and not just use like, dick and ball jokes. That
Yeah.
yeah. It was low.
Literally.
It was very lowbrow, man. I was like, damn, this what
I was like, this is not a good rap. I was like, no, this one's not cool. Um, so the FTR and the Acclaim started the match. It was a good match. Chased the Young Bucks into the ring. The fact that did the Bucks win clean? Because I kind of missed it a little bit.
clean-ish.
clean-ish.
Yeah.
Cleanish,
Yeah. Well, I
as
mean, it
clean
was
as
them.
the Bucks get.
No nothing nefarious or anybody. Well, I shouldn't say that, but anyone coming in to help them, yeah. But it was them just doing what they do, normal elite stuff.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
cheating was I think it was Nick hit Harwood with the belt on the outside.
Okay, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
it was a little shot there and then quick roll up.
That's right. Max Caster with the EVP trigger and a shatter machine.
That was
That
awesome.
was interesting to see.
He didn't know what TV
That
was
was
on at
pretty
that point.
cool. Yeah, it's like first he's on this team, then he's on that team. All
That
right.
was
Who
awesome
you,
seeing him
who
those
you
moves.
going against here?
To me, the
That's
star
cool.
of this match though was Bowens. I think Bowens was a standout. He showed that when the time comes that he steps away from Max Caster, he is going to be someone to contend with.
I love Anthony Bowens.
Out of the two, there's always that one that you have with the Street Profits. You have with every tag team. He's going to be the nothing against but he's going to be the one. Bowen's going to be definitely be the one to rise.
He's definitely the Sean, and Max Caster is the.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely, yep. Out of the 2.
Yep. So I mean, it was a great match all in all. I have a hard time following matches that have lots of guys in it. ADHD. It's hard for me to pay attention. I squirrel. So it was a good match. The Bucks winning doesn't surprise me. They always do. And this is only the second time that they've defended the title since they won it.
Yep.
Forever ago. And the tag team division is kind of flat right now. Kind of flat. And I think that's partially because of the Young Bucks having the title. Because they don't have them there every week to showcase it. They don't have them putting on the matches. They don't, not that they're not putting in work, because they do a shit ton of other things when they're not on TV. Because the Bucks, whether people like to admit it or not, if it wasn't for the Bucks and the group of people that put it all together, we wouldn't have AEW. So the Bucks, they're important. They have other things to do besides just wrestle, but why keep the tag team titles on them? That just seems a little redundant to me. Give it to somebody else. Start elevating your tag division again, getting it back up there like you're trying to do with the trios division right now.
Well,
Get that tag team division back up there.
You had this story of them like overshooting their power, and they brought in Okada and all. Like, to me, somewhere in that story they should have lost it, because now it's just they're the EVPs with the belts. Like that's literally all they are. This should have been a good opportunity to do it. I'm hoping with the big surprise that happened at the end, grizzled young veterans. I love them.
Grit your teeth.
That's
Love
right.
it. Love them.
Dune. they will be the tag team champs. I hope. Just yeah, I don't see them having it. This run should have happened towards the beginning of AEW. I don't know. I say I don't know. I understand why them, Kenny, like they all kind of took themselves out of title contention when they started AEW
Mhm.
because they didn't want to make it seem like it's nepotism. We're taking the belts because we own the company. To me, that would have been the perfect story to start the company with. We started this company; these are our belts. I don't know why we're doing this now, so many years after starting it.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think it was a Cody thing. Cody was very adamant about them not having belts. I mean, obviously he went on,
He wrote himself out of the story.
you know, yeah, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, so I just think he might have had something to do with that.
Maybe.
But I agree. I think it would have been very easy to see them, hey, this is our company. Of course we're gonna be champions. Come get them. You know what I mean? But as far as the storyline, I from both you what you guys just said too, it's just it was meant to, F Tony Khan. He's out of here. We're running things now. Now we're gonna have gold. And then we got Okada. Here we go. The shine has rubbed off on this, and I think it's got lost in the sauce that they've kicked Tony Khan out. He's showing up at scrums, so Tony's there, but he's not on TV. And I get that the character he wants to keep the two separate. Tony's still the owner, wants to do the scrum, not on TV as the character. But I think the shine is kind of worn off on them being champions. I thought this was going to be the Acclaim's time. I love FTR. I think they're very misused in the WWE. They're a great tag team, but we've seen them with the belts a lot, and we've seen enough of them in the Elite, and I feel like the Acclaimed are thrown in, so it wasn't another FTR and Elite 5 or 6. You know what I mean? They were thrown in
Yeah.
for extra people, but I really
And
thought
the
this was a great.
Acclaimed.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
go
go ahead.
ahead. No, and
No,
the
no,
Acclaimed were so over.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and again, and I know now the favorites are going to win. Like, I don't make a lot of bad picks to that. Like, oh, the fans love them, let's do it. But it makes sense, and not for nothing too. Like I talked in the prediction show that I did, it's that them losing makes the perfect sense. If they're the crazy tyrants that they are, they come on Wednesday pissed off to all in. They're screwing everybody over, taking belts off, taking names, having everyone get their ass kicked. You know what I mean? Just causing havoc because they're so upset from losing their belts. That's the angle you run because they're the upset tyrants are drunk with power. They keep their belts.
Yes.
Great,
Well,
cool,
and
okay. You know
the
what I mean? And
Cool.
again, they're not even defending him a
Mhm.
lot too, and that's the big problem I see with that too. You're not. Yeah. Go ahead.
watching wrestling for so long, like you'll see people on Twitter that go, "Well, they're just stealing this idea, they're just stealing that idea." You reuse storylines all the time.
All the time.
Them
Yep.
losing that belt is a new twist on DX and Vince. Me, because you've got this
Yep.
young up and coming team who's brash. Give him some real material for his raps.
Mhm.
That can go against the EVPs that are like, damn it, I should have had that match. I should have had that belt. We should still be the champs.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect opportunity to play that type of thing if they just lost the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they're just coming out in the suits now and doing the whole thing, like with their noses up in the air, and I'm like, that's great, but we need a little more substance here. I'm sure.
We need to
Give
do
it time.
something
I'm
with
sure. I know.
this.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
that's the thing too. I know TK's been going back and forth about us being on air character. He did it for the Jack Perry storyline to get him away for a while. He wore the neck brace on even for the NFL draft. So I'm sure he'll be coming back around to being an on-air character, quote unquote. I know he's been wrestling with that, no pun intended. But I think eventually he'll come back for his power, and it'll involve the EVPs and being cast away so they can reboot and come back however they want to do it. But again, I think this was the perfect, like you said, Mike. I think it's perfect time for them to kind of give it to them and just come on that next Wednesday and raise hell for everybody in production, all the way down to the camera guys. So, but not so much this time.
Yeah.
They retained.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I totally agree on that one. Now the surprise match of the night. The Casino Gauntlet match.
Love a good gauntlet match.
It's hard to talk about this match because this match was so good until it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was so fucking good until it wasn't. And then you're just sitting there like,
Huh?
fucking why? Like, this makes absolutely no sense. Like, why? They only got 12 entrants into it, first of all, when there was supposed to be 21.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know what the hell happened there.
I'm
Why
still
they
waiting for Evil
decided to
Uno.
stop it after 12.
That's how bad Paige beat his ass. That's how bad. He's still laying up. He's still in that arena on the floor, man.
Jesus. We started with Orange Cassidy and Okada. The hug was great. That, made it fun. Okada has just been silly. Like, he needs to be more of a badass that he is. The silly Okada's played its role. Let's let him be the badass he's supposed to be and stop with the comedy bullshit. Let him do what he needs to do. And then the surprise, Nigel McGuinness comes out. Fucking ovation of all ovations. England fucking lost their shit. I didn't even know he was a wrestler, if I'm being perfectly honest with you
That was
guys.
the moment of the night for me, man. McGuinness back in a ring.
Yeah.
I was like, I marked out. I was pumped, bro. I lost my shit.
I didn't even know he was a wrestler.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Big in
awesome what he
ROH.
does.
Was in TNA for a little while.
Oh, beautiful. He's such a good wrestler, man. I'm a big fan. He came out like
That yeah, that ovation was fucking amazing. That was really cool. Then we had Kyle O'Reilly come out. I'm lukewarm on Kyle O'Reilly. He's meh. To me. I mean, he has the talent, but he just kind of is just like whatever to me.
He needs a personality with him. Like he was
Mhm.
great when it was in NXT with the group, like because you had Adam Cole to play off of, and so he didn't have to talk. He didn't really have to do anything. He did the air guitar on the championship belt, and everybody went nuts for it. That's all he had to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, him as a character by himself, I just can't get behind him. Nothing,
And
no
Yeah.
also in the
substance.
groups too. Like he came back, the one, being the one person, and then like they put him in another group. It's not as like it's with Orange Cassidy, and it's kind of like a quasi. He can't be. He needs to be by himself and kind of just work on having his own, like you said, have your own personality, have your own shtick and gimmick. Like stop putting him in groups, man. And even the way he's in the groups now, he's the funny guy, he's the goofy guy. And I'm like, what are we
He's a
doing?
goofball.
This guy's a badass wrestler. When he came back in NXT to fight Adam Cole, and they had their one. That was the best I've ever seen Kyle O'Reilly wrestle in my life. That was an amazing rivalry. And then he debuted in AEW. I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, same like, gee, meh. Like, what? Why are we pairing him with
Meh.
500 people? Let's have him get out there. The guy showcase this man. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just bleh to me. Just bleh. And his comb over annoys me.
Can't get his hair right. It's either too long or it's combed
His
over.
hair, it's just
Right.
that comb over
Personality and a
thing.
good hairdo.
I mean, the hairdo is. I don't know why, but it really fucking bothers me. It really fucking bothers me. And a hairdo shouldn't bother me, but it does. Then we had Zack Sabre Jr. I've only seen him a couple of times, but he's great. I remember the match with him and Orange Cassidy. Was a great match. Then Roderick Strong. I'm just glad he's not fucking running around yelling at him anymore, because I couldn't take him running around yelling at him anymore. Because that was getting on my damn nerves. They have fumbled the United Kingdom, or the Undisputed Kingdom, and I think a lot of it was Cole's injury screwed everything up, and screwed up all the plans that they had for it. So they just really had no direction for it to go. So it's just kind of fizzled out, and they're just not great, which sucks because Mike Bennett is talented. Matt Taven, talented, extremely fucking talented. And it just doesn't feel like they're getting, they need to get more over. They need a better story. If they're going to stay the Undisputed Kingdom, they need to be in a better story.
The yelling of the Adam gimmick to me, like when he first did it, I loved it. I loved it up to the point where they made the Undisputed Kingdom. At that moment, it should have dropped. It should have stopped at that point, because now we're serious. We're no longer being comedy guys. We're being serious about this. But then he kind of kept going for a while after that, and it's like, no, you stop. Go in there and be a
Snap.
badass.
Keep it both. Keep it the funny and the serious, guys. Like,
Right. You've gotta do one or the other. You can't be both. It just doesn't work. Um then we had Mark Briscoe, phenomenal athlete. He's great.
love him.
Um
Love him.
love Mark Briscoe. Love that he finally got his chance. Sucks that it took losing his brother for him to get it.
Yep.
Um
Agreed. Should
but
have been in AEW a long time before that. Both of them should
long
have been.
time before that, both of them
Yep.
should have been
Yep.
there
Yep.
together. They
Yep.
definitely they deserved it. They should have been there together. People make mistakes in their past. He apologized for it. He moved on for it. He grew. Let it go. People need
Yep.
to stop bringing up shit from 10, 15 years ago, but they should have been in it together. But love Mark Briscoe. Then we had Hangman Adam Page, who I thought was going to win this match.
That made
Um,
sense.
it's what made sense in the match. It's what made sense going into it. They're definitely setting Hangman up to be a loser right now. To maybe just go on a fucking rampage. Who knows? But they're definitely setting him up to something's going to happen. Something with him, with Hangman, because they're setting him up. He's just losing and losing and losing and getting to a breaking point and getting to a breaking point. And, we'll bring it back up later when we get into the championship match. Um, but I definitely see him and Swerve having another fight, having another match, especially
Yeah.
after, what happened in the championship match.
They still have to close that chapter.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
still open. Absolutely.
It's definitely still open. Then we had Jeff Jarrett come out. Interesting choice. I get Jeff Jarrett is a legend. He's been around forever. He's very smart when it comes to the business, except for when he listened to Dixie Carter. But
A lot of people made that
that's
mistake.
here
Yeah.
nor there.
Long list.
But he's good for the back, but I didn't see him in this match. The only thing that made sense was him and Adam Page, because they had the little thing I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I would rather him be a backstage influence than be in matches,
I think
especially
sometimes.
matches for title matches.
Yeah, I think sometimes when Tony does the gauntlet matches, or he does like whatever kind of roulette, whatever the buy-in, whatever they're doing, I think he kind of treats this as a Royal Rumble-esque opportunity to either bring in your new debuts, which is the name you're going to mention in a couple minutes, and then and also you putting legends out there that you want to see. You bring out again, not Nigel. You bring out Jeff Jarrett, and you're like, okay, cool. Like it's almost like Royal Rumble-esque, where you see some legends, you see
It's the
some debuts.
nostalgia.
Yeah, and I get that, but again, it's this kind of thing when it's for a world heavyweight championship. Again, like the Rumble is too, so it's hard to critique both. But there's also 30 people in that match where you can fit someone at 8 and 13 and get their asses thrown out by Kane, or buy
Exactly.
Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean? But in this one, where there's such a small of a field, where obviously there's a couple people are going to be in there who should win, and you're like, well, you shouldn't really be in this match this time around. You know what I mean? But to your point, I totally understand that. I love him in the back. I think he's definitely someone that should be in Tony Khan's ear as far as like production wise and storyline stuff like that. But I think this is probably not the best time to bring him out was Sunday night.
Yeah, definitely. Then we're on to the next one, which I popped. I have always loved him. He has always been fantastic. I've always thought he's phenomenal. Fucking Ricochet.
Oh,
He is fucking phenomenal. I love that dude. I loved him in WWE. He never got the proper attention that he deserved in the WWE because of his style of wrestling. Now that he's in AEW, he can showcase his style of wrestling because it fits. And it fits with what they do. And it fits with the dynamic. And he's got so many fucking opponents that he can do this with, and that he can have that dynamic and those fast-paced matches with, because there's all these young guys that do all these fast moves, do all this crazy shit, and it gets, it's going to be great. I can't wait to see him and Will Ospreay.
him and
That's the
Pac.
pinnacle.
That is going to
right
be
there.
Oof. That's gonna be a banger.
That match is going to be probably one of the best matches ever.
I will say just from what we've seen in the past, the only concern I have for that is I hope he's just not the new toy, because that
Yeah.
kind of seems to be what they do with some of these guys come in is give them a good couple of months and then all of a sudden they're they're in top flight. Like
They're in a 16-man
Yeah.
tag at All In.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I worry about that. But yeah, he like fresh coat of paint for Ricochet. Like he can come out there and he can show his stuff. He can go back to what we saw like in Lucha Underground and what we've seen on the Indies with him and Ospreay. We could see that stuff again, and you could see it in his face how elated he was to be out there and
Oh
be
yeah.
himself
That was
again.
genuine happiness, man.
Yeah.
He was pumped. Yeah, no,
He
and it's
was
funny you bring
yeah.
it. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, he was pumped to be out there. You could see it. You could feel the emotion coming out of the TV, feeling of how happy he was, grateful he was to be there, grateful. And he came out in AEW colors. So that just even showed too how happy he was to be there because he chose to come out in the colors of his company.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you bring up the fact that the 2-month thing that a lot of people are coming in. I don't know if you guys follow him on social media. This man must have had his phone for a whole 48 hours. He's coming for everybody. Like go Google it and go
Oh
look at
yeah.
some of the responses. He's not letting up. He's pretty much go. I put something up last night. I think he liked it. It was like pretty much you guys got pissed because he wasn't getting used in WWE. He was the new Speed champion. Now he's in a new company. Now he has the time to shine. You can see him every week on TV. And now you're saying he's just going to be a one-hit wonder in 2 months. Like, pick your side. Make it make sense. Like, no one can win. But the thing is, you can tell by his responses, he doesn't give a shit. Like, whatever. Say what you want. He's like, yeah, guys, I'll talk to you in 6 months. Like, say what you want. And he had some fun. He was cooking. He was coming at dudes. Like, someone said, like, oh, way to have a 2 steps behind. He's like, with you 12 followers, you'd be lucky to be 2 steps. Like, he was coming for people, man.
Well, and like you mentioned the Speed title. He even responded to something about that because someone tried to dog him for having the Speed title. And he's like, so you mean having a championship's a bad thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's still a belt.
Oh no, more people.
It was Kyle Fletcher.
Yep. More people watch more matches of you being the Speed champion. Watch you in one of yours. Like, dude, he's cooking. I love it, and he needs to. Like, he's gonna be there. I don't think he's gonna let him. I think he learned from WWE. I know a lot of guys have been older, more established, kind of legendish, if you want. They go to Tony and they're like, "Oh, Tony's okay. We'll book you this. We'll do some of the nostalgic stuff." I think Ricochet's learned from VKM. I don't know exactly how it went down with Paul. I don't know if he's like, we got nothing for you. But I think he's learned. He's not going to let himself be put. No one's going to put Baby in the corner. If Tony's not booking him, he's going to be like, put me in a fucking match. Like, I'm here. I came here to wrestle, and you see what I do out there. Put me in a match. Like, he's not going to let himself like be dogged again. And I think that's what you see on social media. He's calling a shot. He's like, watch me. Pulling a live. Watch me.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have WWE's media team behind him either. So that's why I think he's had his phone. It's because tweeting at everybody and anything. He's all over the place.
But everybody has
a little bit.
I don't think Tony Khan monitors them or restricts them like they get restricted in WWE.
Not for nothing. Tony sometimes shouldn't have his phone in his hand. Okay. So, I mean, he's not exactly the mentor to tell someone to put the phone down, but I like that. Interact with the fans, talk the trash, give it back to them. WWE, you see it here and there, and I'm sure someone had to sign off on it from somewhere in Connecticut. But I like when you have that interaction. Obviously, it's all shit talk. It's all. I mean, I would imagine it's good fun. Some people it's not, but it's good to give that back. And you get a wrestler retweet you and talk, and just call you out in front of millions of people on Twitter. That's amazing to me. And that's the stuff AEW needs. If you need to be more edgier, you need to have that kind. That's what they need to start doing. I love the fact I'm going through it. I'm like, oh, look at this guy. Then he liked my tweet. I'm like, this guy's on a roll. Like, he's just liking everything. I love it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's fantastic. Then we get to Christian. Christian comes out. And I was like, okay, whatever. Hobbling his ass out there. I was like, okay. Then Killswitch comes out. As soon as Killswitch came out, I was like, motherfucker, man. I was like, this shit better not. And then it fucking did.
When that music
and I
hit,
was like, are you fucking serious right now?
when that music hit, man, people went nuts. They're like,
they thought it was going to be the turn.
They do the whole stupid fake turn. And I'm like, come on, what are we doing? Come on. Why is Christian winning this opportunity? He just dude.
Why the fuck is Christian the number one contender? Or not the number one contender, but why the fuck is he getting a title opportunity?
I feel like for every 2 steps forward they make, I want to know, like Tony talked about in the scrum, there's 27 people giving him ideas that he has to choose from. You had 26 other options. You pick Christian Cage. You should have went with another option, bro. Like,
now, don't
Cage,
get me
I'm
wrong,
sorry.
with the patriarch gimmick, with him talking about the dead dads and all that stuff, like a match with him and Brian, especially with this new Brian of like my kids and they were here and this is the most wonderful moment of my life. It's going to be a good story. But you could have told a good story with a good half of who was in that gauntlet.
Mhm.
Like, it didn't have to be this story.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It didn't.
It's a weird move.
I don't know who else would have made sense with who came out with the 12 people that came out, but besides Hangman.
That was your go-to, man. That was it.
I know Zach, like, he's got other stuff to do. He just won the G1, but
Yeah,
to me, Zach would have been a good pick just because Zach and Brian make an amazing match.
Yeah, and since when does Tony not have someone who's holding a championship or winning something like that across the like not have them win something in AEW? Like that would be on brand. Like that would have been awesome.
Right.
The pop would have been awesome for Junior as well. But yeah, that's just.
But I think everybody was just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, the air got
the air went out of the stadium. Not even a joke. Go back and watch it. Just as soon as he turns around and throws him on the, like dies right out.
Yeah, and everybody, it was just kind of like silent because nobody
Like,
really knew how to react.
Yeah. Well, especially with that beat from earlier of like he said, like John said, the fake turn that we had in the previous match. Because you saw that and it's like, what was the point of that? Why did we even do that?
That's what got me. Come in, knock, and help him. What's the fake thing for? What are we doing? Like, was he torn now? Now Luchasaurus doesn't know what he wants to do. Like, what are we doing? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's a control thing. Maybe they're going off the control thing with. I don't know. But Wednesday, all will be revealed. Apparently,
we'll find out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, then we went on to the international title match, which was the one I was looking forward to because Will Ospreay is fucking amazing, and I look forward to absolutely anything that he's going to be in. So it's him versus John's twin, MJF. You had to know at some point.
Doing his best Apollo Creed entrance too, which
the Star-Spangled Scumbag. I loved it. It was awesome. I had Rocky vibes. It was great.
My husband was born in England, and he was like, "This is pissing people off right now." He's like, he's doing a really good job at being a bad guy because he's really pissing people off right now.
When he put the hand over the heart, he said, "God bless him." Dude, people were pissed, man. They were hot, man.
Yeah, it was great. And such a good heel. But
he's great.
Ospreay's entrance was fantastic. I'm not a video game person, but that Assassin's Creed plug was phenomenal for him. That entrance was wonderful. It gave me goosebumps.
It was awesome. I hope he keeps that red. I like the green, I get it, but like that red popped. Like that was a quick, obviously not the whole Assassin's Creed. Keep that entrance. That's a nice look for him. To keep the whole robe thing, man, that was fire. That was an awesome entrance. Good look for him.
Yep. That was awesome. This match was fantastic. MJF comes out, like you said, with the Apollo Creed. He's got the flag. He's got the streamers. He's just full heel. Fucking wonderful MJF. One of the best heels out there because he knows exactly what to do to piss people off. And he does a phenomenal job at doing it. Says he doesn't want to be a goofy ass anymore, but he still comes out with that goddamn kangaroo kick. That thing just cracks me up every damn time he does that fucking thing. Love the kangaroo kick.
I like it too. It is a weird choice for him to do it when he's trying to say like I'm not going to be that guy anymore, and then does it anyway. It's like, well, he still did the goofy ass thing though.
Yep, it was funny, but so they did some great shit. We had the hidden blade to the cameraman That fucking cameraman got laid the fuck out. Laid the fuck out.
You want to tell me how that cameraman had matching socks and underwear though? That man knew he was going to be on TV. Did anyone catch that?
Oh yeah. I didn't catch that.
He fell down like, who wears blue and orange underwear with your socks? What are you doing? Like, this isn't about you, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Like he knew he was gonna be knocked out of his pants, so he had to make sure that he's dressed
Wear
to
your regular,
impress, I
wear
guess.
your regular boxers to work, bro. Don't try to be cute. What are you doing? Like,
Like, come on, man. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that shit because I totally didn't notice that.
I was looking, I'm like, where's that color under? What are you doing, bro? And then they showed the socks. And I went, wait, what? No, come on, man.
Like he color coordinated. He knew he was getting laid out
He knew it
tonight.
was up.
He had a business
Yep.
meeting before that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Phenomenal fucking match, though. I mean,
Absolutely,
great
big fan.
fucking match.
And
Like, I
MJF just
mean-
being his asshole self. My favorite spot in it is anybody can do a flip, and then he does the flip outside.
Mhm.
Like, well, you can do it, I can do it,
Yeah.
and then gets caught with his pants
Anything
fly.
you
but-
can do, I can do better.
And taking
Anything you can.
wrapping him into the tombstone was an awesome counter. Awesome
Yeah.
move.
It
And what kind of
was.
stiff too,
Yeah, it
man.
was.
I was like, yo, someone check that man. He definitely landed more of it on his back of his head.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, ooh. But yeah, no, that was
Mhm.
that match slap, man. Awesome. I said it when I talked about it earlier before. It's definitely one of the top two that was going to take the show, and it definitely stood the test. It was
100%.
awesome. Yeah.
100% did. He did the Tiger Driver, so it was nice to see him bring the Tiger Driver back after, Daniel or Brian Danielson told him to use it. So it was great. I was fantastic. I was happy with Will Ospreay winning, so that was a great choice to me. Daniel Garcia coming back in that match is interesting because it's going to be interesting to see what happens with his contract. It is up in October. There hasn't been any talks of him re-signing. He's just under contract till October. So definitely going to be something going on between MJF and Daniel Garcia going forward, which brings the point of who's going to come after the international title. Who is Will Ospreay going to go after next? Is it going to be, are they going to throw Ricochet in there right away and put him up against? But I don't know if they want to give him that W or that L so soon. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. It's hard for me to predict where they go from here with the international title.
I hope they don't just shove Ricochet in it. That to me is always like that's the thing that irritates me the most is when someone debuts and it's like they get a title shot right off the bat. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like all they had to do was show
Like
up.
the next person.
Look how long Cody had to wait.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that when we talk about the next match.
But no,
People getting title shots after their debut.
Right. But they just I wanted MJF to go over here. No, I'm not biased. I just thought it made more sense for him to win that belt. And again, I have a couple ideas about what happens. I think obviously MJF beat Ospreay clean in their first match when he won the belt. I really didn't see a need for Garcia here. I know why they did it. Obviously, like you said, to try to plant some seeds here for MJF and him. Made sense when he beat the hell out of him a month and a half ago. But now, honestly, now it looks like Ospreay needed help to beat MJF when MJF won clean in their first match. I'm not necessarily against people getting involved and there being outside interference, but in this match, this should have been clean. The Tiger Driver should have been the explanation point, the nail in the hammer. That's what wins it. That's how he pins him. The fact that Garcia had to distract him for them to hit, you know what I mean? It didn't sit well with me. And also, too, you could go down the road. I don't get too far into it off a tangent, but the way it happened, who's to say? That belt is banging, by the way. I love it as the quasi United States Championship. Who's to say that MJF doesn't show up on Wednesday and say, yeah, that's great. You took your title back. I'm still the American champion. And now we kind of integrate that belt in somewhere in holding that for a little while. MJF is still a champion. Because I don't know where MJF goes from here. Like you said, Ospreay, what's next for him? What's next for MJF? There's no way he's not even close to being in the title picture right now. That's jam-packed right now with Swerve and Christian and other people, you know what I mean? But I think MJF has some weird thing where he keeps the belt. Obviously, he's going to be upset about the Garcia thing, but maybe Garcia is the rivalry that he jumps into next.
Yeah, that's a conversation
Yeah,
Tori and I have
unless
also had
Adams.
about that.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a
Where-
whole other talk.
Yeah. Where I mean, if you just listen to the announcement, he won the international title.
Yep.
So him coming back and saying, "Yeah, but I'm the United States champion."
Or yeah, the American title.
The American, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
Mhm.
really easy for him
You
to come
didn't
back out
want
with
my
that belt
belt.
and go, "This is my belt."
Yeah, you didn't want my belt, so you took your belt. Guess what? I'm still not. And Tony, not knock on him. Tony loves belts, and it's a
Right.
nice belt. You don't make that kind of belt for a month run. Like
Yeah.
that's a nice belt, and it can have a lot. That's an awesome way. Like we talked about, a lot of people being in the cupboard for Tony not being used. Maybe you bring that over, and this is a whole other discussion as far as brand extension, what they should do for their shows. But maybe you bring that over to Collision. Yeah, maybe that belt is featured a little more on Collision for used over there, or something like that. But again, like you said, it was noticing that they said the international, and I was like, wait a minute. So it's
Yep.
interesting that they worded it like that. I caught that too.
Yep. Then we got the next match, the TBS Championship match. So speaking of people that walked into a title, Miss Mercedes, I bite my lip every 5 seconds, Monet. I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan when she was Sasha Banks. I don't like the personality of the character. It's just not my thing, I guess. I know she's a lot of people's thing, but she's not mine. I'm not a Mercedes Moné fan. She walked in, she got the title. Willow Nightingale had just gotten it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It didn't sit well with me.
I'm with you. She was always my least favorite of the Four Horsewomen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe it's just like you said. Maybe it's just because it's not my thing. You know, wrestling is a buffet. I didn't like the mac and cheese. I went over and ate something else. Like,
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. He rubs me the wrong way. This match itself rubbed me the wrong way too. Like, I don't know if it was the suspension thing. I don't know if it was he had a problem with Monet.
I fell
maybe
asleep.
This was the fall asleep match.
This was the fall asleep match.
Someone has footage of everyone literally. It was the get up and take a piss match.
Yeah.
No word of a lie. They showed them in the ring, and literally all the sections, everyone's getting up to go to the concession stands, go to the bathroom. I was like, wow.
I felt like I felt like they were trying too hard in this match. Like, it looked like neither one of them were really giving to each other. Because, like, for either one of them to do a body slam or a suplex, like, it looked like they were lifting that person. Like, there was no give one way or the other. So I don't know if it was just not good chemistry, or if there was still things going on backstage for the two. Because you had her and MJF thing, Britt and MJF thing that happened that we still don't know a lot of details about. Monet still is kind of Monet. I don't know what it was. To me, they didn't match well at all.
From the again, it was very much. It was a stiff match. It was very like from the two people that one of them that I know in AEW. Again, all rumor. Don't know if it's there's legit heat between the two of them. They really don't like each other. Like the promos that you see, like that facial expression, they're cutting deep with that. Like she means when she says you suck, whatever WWE Sasha Banks stuff you did, you're not that here. You suck now. Like that stuff's
right.
She means that stuff. That's legit heat. But I think I think this is one of two things. I think they, like you said, they forced it. I think this is another way for saying it's another notch in Mercedes' belt, another former champion she beat. They brought that up twice in the commentary. So that's 5 ex-champions that she's beaten. Might be 4, I apologize. But also, too, I thought Britt does go over here, get the feel-good moment. She did just return. But Mercedes, the end game is obviously for Tony, obviously for her, but definitely for Tony. You want to get that women's belt on Mercedes as soon as you can. That's the end game, to have her just launch social media anywhere. She's going to bring that belt everywhere around the world, to New Japan, everywhere. She's going to go with that. That's the end goal. I really thought this was going to be, she loses this belt. She still has New Japan belt, and she kind of starts migrating her way up until now, because Mariah winning, go over there, talk, you know what I mean? I thought this was kind of where we're going to stepstone to that. But when obviously she hit the finisher, 1, 1, 2, 3, I'm like, okay, now it's just, now I beat another person that's been an AEW Women's Champion. Who's next? You know, that kind of thing. And what's next for her as far as the defense? Like, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who lines up. And at the end of the day, I think they're just going to end up stacking up Camille and Mercedes the same way they have with Statlander and Nightingale. It's just going to end up being good, good, good. She's going to turn on her eventually and want to go for the belt. That's going to run its course as well if they keep doing like the partnering to just have them break up down the road. That's going to get a little old down the road too. So,
or like a Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter. But it's going to be interesting to see where Jamie Hayter fits into this return, though. Does her return fit into the TBS championship? Is she going to go after Mercedes Moné? Or does Jamie Hayter's return have her going after the AEW Women's Championship? It's like they could go either direction with Jamie Hayter, and it would make sense. Her going for one or the other.
I'm with you as far as I think Britt winning this match to me would have made more sense. For everything you said, and also because it would have been another notch in Britt's belt because no one's won both, and so she would have been the first one to win the women's and the TBS title. Like, and she's the person you've been building your women's division off of since you started. Why not give her that accolade?
Yeah. I mean, that's true. And I just really hope that they don't put 3 belts on Mercedes Moné.
That's Tony's cash cow, man. He loves her. He means it when he says she's the biggest signing in the company, and that's how he feels. And she's being booked as such. Like I give it to him. He's standing behind what he said. So, but I also too, the one thing AEW started, like, you know, whether you like it or hate it, the one cool thing that they did to go against exactly what you said, you debut title shot, the ranking system. They did it. They got rid of it, brought it back. People hate it because people hate it for the exact reason we're talking about it. I want to see so and so that just came out. No, you got to fucking earn it. Like, you got this guy's 9-0. He's been here for 4 months. You just got here for a cup of coffee. You're not just going to jump ahead to the front of the line. That's the one cool thing I really liked about AEW was the ranking system, and they stood by it for a while. Every week they put it up there, who went up, who went down. Almost like it's almost like they mocked it after the video game, the 2K video game. You play in the universe, whatever, but you move up and down as you win and lose. That's what I like about that. But the fans have adamantly told Tony, we hate that. Get rid of it. Give people a shot that we're cheering for, that we want. But hopefully they bring that back. But I agree. Jamie hopefully goes for somewhere like a lower card, get back into everything, and then moves up closer to Revolution for the women's title.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Then we went into the TNT championship match with Darby Allin versus Jack Perry. Darby Allin comes out with thumbtacks glued to his face.
Awesome.
Oh, Razor look. I loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Did not expect this match to go the way it did, though.
No, it was a glorified
Darby
squash
Allin
match.
Just got his ass kicked from the opening till the end.
There's no way Darby signed off on this. Like, this was such a lackluster match. In his match, in a coffin match, to go down like that, to get hogtied and almost set on fire. Don't get me wrong, the Sting Pop was awesome. But I'm like, dude, you literally just got your ass beat by Jack Perry. I'm pretty sure if any of us saw Jack Perry on the side of the street, no one's that scared of that man. I'm like, you just beat the death-defying Darby Allin. It was wild to me, man. I was like, this match is already over. Are you guys pressed for time? Like, what's going on? All you got is time. It was like they were trying to hurry up, get through it. It was wild to me. It was just a squash. It was a squash match.
I did see something on Fightful. So shout out to them for this, but I did see that they did cut some of that time. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe his offense was in that time that got cut. But
yeah,
I just can't believe that the guy that got hit by a bus and then showed up on TV 2 days later
got smashed.
Just got his ass handed to him.
And thrown in a coffin. Like, what?
I mean, he did the spot off the 20-foot stage. I mean, through the tables, hogtied. So, I mean, that was a classic Darby Allin. But I expected more offense, and there was none. There was just none. But the Sting Pop was great. Seeing Sting come back, that was fantastic. What does that mean? Was it just a one-time thing? Is he really going to come back? Like, what does this mean? Um,
So this is
so I
my
guess we'll see
turn
what
heel
happens there.
moment. I didn't like the Sting coming in.
No.
You just
Oh,
retired.
boo. Tomato, tomato, tomato. Boo.
I get it for the pop. Like I get the pop, I get all that, but it's to me like it breathes Ric Flair coming back for another retirement match. Like you just retired, homie. Like literally
Okay.
a couple of pay-per-views ago. And
Right, and
now
now
you're
here you
back.
are
Like
back again.
The one thing I think, I started thinking about it while I was watching the scrum, and I'm like, Sting. I mean, he's obviously still wrestling. He's going to be here in Worcester. I'm going to be meeting him in a couple weeks. He's going to be right down at Polar Park where the Woostocks play. I'm going to mark out when I meet this man, like a legend, legendary.
absolute legend.
I think the weird thing about All In, and the way, I don't know why they do this. All Out is 2 weeks away. It's the quickest turnaround ever in any kind of profession. It's so I think is going to happen if I had to book from the chair over here. I think you're gonna see a run back of the match. Sting's gonna be in Darby's corner. Someone's gonna be in his corner. Darby grabs the belt. So I think that's because with such a short turnaround. Hey, Sting, come out for the pop at Wembley. Give us like 2 shows at Dynamite. Come for all out, and then he's gonna go away again. But he comes in, helps Darby.
Where is All
All
Out?
in Chicago.
Oh, it is
Chicago.
in Chicago. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which is good.
That'd
Which
be
is
an
always
interesting place.
a weird environment to see AW in after Raw.
And
One
with
Bill
Jack
Phil.
Perry.
Yeah. Again, there's gonna be references to One Bill Phil, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
let it go. Let it go.
Fucking Phil.
Yeah, him doing the
Fucking
Cry Me
Phil.
the River thing to the crowd. That
Yeah.
he didn't need to.
Listen, those
And
promos
the glass.
those promos on Collision when he came back after the those were some awesome promos. But yeah, the glass thing. As soon as glass came
Yeah.
out, even more. Yeah, my wife was like, "Wait, like, yeah, Cry Me a River." That's what exactly. Then
Mhm.
he literally just, and I was like, "Go, dude, stop! What are you doing?"
I do want to say
Right.
though, the belt, badass. I
I
love
love
that
that
belt.
belt. I wish
And the
Tony
fact that
sold more.
Jack made it.
Yep, I wish they sold. Like, as you can see, I might buy a few
I'd be a
belts here
belt
and there.
collector.
You might have a couple belts.
I'm the true Kenny Omega. But yeah, I wish that in the AEW, like the actual AEW title is like $1,500. I wish they would sell more of their replicas because that belt is badass, man. I love that Jack Perry belt. Love it.
Mhm.
I hope they keep it that way. Even when the face gets it back, whether it's Darby Allin, I hope they keep it because that's a cool looking belt.
Yeah.
I digress. I
It
apologize.
is a cool looking belt.
Yeah.
No, totally good. That but yeah, it was a shock. I just didn't I expected more out of Darby.
Yeah.
And then we've got the championship match, Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland. 2 Washington boys up against each other. 2 different styles, 2 different personalities, 2 very different everything. I was not surprised to see Bryan Danielson win, but I was surprised to see Daniel Bryanson win because Swerve was doing so good as champion. Swerve was doing great. He was on fire. He's over as hell. So to see him lose the belt in this match was kind of like meh to me, but I didn't see it really happening any other way.
Yeah, once you put my career is on the line,
It's over.
it only ends one way, which is he's not done yet. It's quite obvious he's building the story and brought his kids out there and all that. They're not going to do the heartbreak. It's not, Tony Khan, for all his faults, is not Vince McMahon. He's not going to make him lose in front of his kids. Like,
Yeah.
So it was only going to end one way.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to take the baton from Michael and this is my heel time to shine. So this is probably the worst way they could have done this ending. I talked about it when we talked about this pay-per-view. Preface all this with everyone watching. I love Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, however you want it. I've watched him since Ring of Honor, come up and all the stuff. The man is the GOAT. He's a legend. He's awesome. This was not the way to do this. You did not need to do it like this. I think but my biggest thing is the fact that the scrum, and again, like Michael said, like, we're building a storyline, obviously, with the whole I'm done. I told Bree, which he did say, I'm done after this contract. It was on social media. So unless this was a year out, I'm done. Even in the scrum on social media, he asked Birdie, "Do you want Daddy to be done?" Yes. Tells Tony, "I don't know what I want to do. I think I need to go home." Telling reporters, "I think I need to go home." Tony's talking about, we got to see what happens on Wednesday, what we're doing with the belt. If I tune in Wednesday and this belt gets laid down in the middle of a ring, just to be,
And
hey,
they
I
took it
went out
off
as
a
a champion.
Swerve.
You did not need
Yeah.
to go out as a champion. You could have died on your sword, been the man, bring Birdie in, bring Bree into the ring, and get your standing O at All In, and still Swerve would have shook. That's where we break the character. Swerve shakes his hand, gives him a hug, whatever. If this is a one
Mm-hmm.
and done, what the hell are we doing to Swerve? The man, like you to what you just said, the man was so over. Awesome, just going back to his heel ways, and just being from that cool face guy coming out, dancing the whole nine. Now just going back to being that a-hole that he was when he's when he's a mogul.
Yep.
And now we're gonna do this. So I pray to God, Bryan Danielson is champion till Revolution. If I come out and there's some weird major announcement tournament made up, whatever we're gonna do, or he's gonna face someone at All Out. We know he's gonna lose it at All Out. Why are we having another match? So I went on a rant when I did on my show earlier this week. Again, I love Danielson, but if we did this just to go out as a champ, definitely a bad call, and it's not fair to Swerve Strickland in the
Nope.
least.
Not at all. So I hope that that's not what happens, because it's just it would totally ruin Swerve's momentum for right now. But as but I'm kind of sick of seeing Swerve and Hangman too. So let's end this at All Out with Swerve and Hangman, because Hangman's distraction is what kind of cost him the title, because it distracted him, and then Bryan Danielson was able to capitalize after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I think they're setting that one up for All Out, but I hope it's the last one. Let's squash Swerve and Hangman. It's enough. Let's get it done.
Well,
Put it in a cage. I don't give a shit. Make it brutal.
to wrap that all together, like it would have made sense still for Swerve to win it then.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole thing with Hangman is that you all are picking this man over me. I was the one in the wrong. You can easily slip Swerve back to being a good guy. Say like I had to go to that place mentally to beat him because he's the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do that. And so then he's back to being the good guy. You have him and Hangman finish that up for the title that Hangman has been since day one trying to get. Like that story writes itself. I'm with you. If we go and just lay this belt in the middle of the ring like we've seen Bryan do twice already, that's so dumb.
That's what gets me too. We talk about this, right? We just talked about Sting. Like, how many times are we doing this? Like, if you've been lying this whole time, like you haven't told your wife you're done. Like, is this a thing? Like, it's. I mean, my wife watches Total Divas. Like, it was a thing. She hated the fact that the man still wrestled. That he was going back to. This is back when he went back to WWE for the second run. You got to be a father. Where you going to be here? Who's going to watch the kids? Like, it's a thing. So it's just like, again, I don't know, man. But again, the Swerve Hangman thing. If we're gonna, I don't think it would end if Hangman won the belt from Swerve. Now that makes sense to me, because it's like he's getting his just desserts, and we maybe run it back down the road. Swerve goes off and does some other stuff. Hangman now has some challengers, and eventually maybe Revolution or something. We bring them back together for something. But a great moment. Don't get me wrong. It's great to see that with his kids. It was great to see, he's holding Birdie doing the scrum. It's awesome stuff. I get it, but I mean, not for nothing. Again, you compare it to Vince McMahon. I mean, look at someone like Kurt Angle. He had to face Baron Corbin to get retired. Ric Flair, he didn't fight for a belt or anything. He went out because Shawn Michaels knocked him out. Like, it's just like, you don't have to win a belt to have to go out being the man. You're already the man. You're the GOAT, bro. There's nothing else for you to do. But well, I guess we'll see what happens on Wednesday.
Yeah. It better not end up like that though, because
I'm praying.
I'm praying. Yeah. Well, that is all we've got tonight, guys. What a great show. Thank you so much for both of you guys joining me here tonight. It's been fantastic. Um, had a great time having you guys on. Definitely will be booking you guys on again for sure. Um, go ahead. Who wants to start? Go ahead, John, and plug yourself on the outro here.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me at all socials at Chairshot Sports. Also weekly on Driving to the Top Productions every Tuesday at 9 o'clock for open mic. Everything's on the table, no rules. So yeah, again, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Mike, it was great meeting you, but thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Michael, go ahead.
So we are the Kicking Out 2 podcast. Normally I have my partner with me, Tori. We stream on Twitch and YouTube every Tuesday, every Thursday, and then we watch pay-per-views as they come along. I'm trying to stick a Saturday in there when there's not a pay-per-view, but life gets in the way most of the time before I can do that. But we're at Kicking Out at 2 on everything except for YouTube. It's PC at the end of it for podcast. Go and hang out.
Definitely go check out both of their shows, follow them, like them, subscribe to them. They're fantastic. So, thank you guys so much for coming on the show tonight. I am Jessie B, Princess Skywalker. You can find me on X at Just Skywalker 10. I am going to do a show next Tuesday since there is a WWE pay per view this weekend. So, you are going to get to see me 2 weeks in a row. So we will do Bash in Berlin next Tuesday. Haven't Not sure where I'm going to go with that show yet, but I just wanted to let all of you guys know I will be back next week. Again, John, Michael, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I hope everybody has a great night. Peace out.
Toodles.